Hi there, and thanks so much for meeting with me today. If you do not know me, my name is Grace Hoover, and I am a business advisor here in our company. Today, I'm going to be presenting to you a strategic goal that my team and I have been working on through much planning and analysis. And we wanted to come today to ask you for executive approval and sponsorship. So let me give you a brief overview of what today's going to look like. First, we're going to review the strategic goal and how we came to the strategic goal and why it's important. We're going to look at our long-term strategy and goals. We're going to talk about how we're going to implement this plan, the communication plan, and finally the evaluation of how we're going to ensure success to our strategic goal. And so at the very end today, I will be asking for executive approval and sponsorship, so please keep that in mind. And if you have any questions, please jot them down because there will be time for Q&A at the end of this session. So let's just jump right on in. Our strategic goal that my team has come to is to document all processes, assign process owners, and then manage, control, and improve the documented processes in order to improve efficiencies and reduce compliance and regulatory risk. So you may be asking, how did we come to this goal? Well, let me answer that for you. We did a plethora of internal as well as external and environmental research to figure out what our strengths and weaknesses are and to figure out what opportunities and threats were in the environment that caused us to come to this strategic goal. And so we found that internally we do have an opportunity. We don't document our processes, so there are a lot of broken processes and processes where there is ample room for improvement, where we just don't know because we don't have it documented. We also know that externally and environmentally in our industry, there is an extreme amount of compliance and regulatory audits going on with our competitors. And so we need to get in front of that and make sure we are adhering to compliance and regulatory risks that are out there in order to ensure that we are not going to have compliance fines hit our company, because in return that costs us a lot of money, and that in return costs our customers a lot of money. So that is how we came to this, through a lot of deep analysis, that we chose this strategic goal that will get the biggest bang for our buck in helping our association. So that's the why behind how we came to this strategic goal. Next up, I wanted to talk about our long-term strategy and the goals that we're looking to meet. Overall, our learning and growth goal is to document our internal process maps, which will then lead to assigning process owners to all documented processes, which then leads to the process owners managing, controlling, improving all processes. The next line is our business process goals of employees being able to reference these process maps for operating procedures, which then leads to process owners acting as a single point of contact for operations, which then leads to continuous evaluation and maintenance and improvement of all of these processes. Our customer service goals are that the customers receive the highest level of customer service because the processes are being done correctly the first time. That then leads to customers having access to a single point of contact in these process owners. And finally, the customers reap the highest quality of products because high quality processes lead high quality products. Finally, our financial performance goals are to increase revenue due to customer retention and customer satisfaction, which then leads to efficiency and resolution to process-centered problems, which means a less cost to do business, and finally, increase revenue due to competitive and high quality products that are being delivered to our customers as a result of this process documentation. So you now may be asking, how are we going to implement this? Well, with this ask today, we are asking that one of you sponsor us to have a pilot. And that pilot is going to be specifically in our department, where we are going to create a cross-collaborative and cross-functional team that is going to begin documenting all of these processes. They're going to be working together to bring multiple perspectives from different departments of the company into one, so that we can begin an inventory of all the processes that are going on in our department right now. We want this pilot team to then work on process mapping them out. We're going to put all the processes into a process map, and once they are in the process map, we want to manage, control, and improve them. How are we going to manage, control, and improve them? Through continuous feedback from frontline employees, as well as constant feedback from our cross-functional teams. And so this pilot team is going to help us to work out the kinks. We're going to take constant feedback to make sure we're constantly improving it. And when we meet the strategic goal within this pilot team, we believe that this process is going to be able to be replicated enterprise-wide so that we can have control of all of our processes, not just in our department, but enterprise-wide. Next, I wanted to review with you what our communication plan is going to look like for this pilot team. We are going to use both formal and informal communication strategies. What is the formal communication strategy? It's going to be a town hall. It is going to be a formal FAQ document that will address what we believe are going to be frequently asked questions. It is going to be a town hall where they can bring their questions to us, as well as a process manual for documenting the processes that they will be able to use. Informal communication will be email. It'll be our social media platform internal on our company's social media site where they can post questions and polls. Also, an informal method may be an employee meeting with their manager and grabbing coffee just to discuss the changes and any concerns or feedback that they have. The tactics that we are going to use to implement this is going to be the management by means approach. So when we communicate, we're not going to talk just about the end goal. We're going to talk about the process by how which we are going to meet the goal. So I shared with you that we are going to document the processes, put them in process maps, assign process owners, and then from there manage, control, and improve. We're going to give that same message to our frontline employees who are involved in this pilot. We're not going to talk just about the end goal, but we're going to talk about how they're going to reach that end goal. Finally, within our communication plan, we're going to show how it benefits the employees, how it benefits our customers, as well as how it benefits the association. So in order to gain their buy-in, we're going to show the long-term benefits of implementing this. If you would like a more detailed analysis of how we are going to approach our communication plan, please let me know. We have that laid out in a document and I can share that with you, but for the sake of time, that's the overall view of how we are going to communicate our changes. Finally, I wanted to review with you our evaluation and how we are going to ensure that we are meeting these strategic goals. We are going to use a balanced scorecard. I reviewed that with you high level earlier within our strategic map, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the metrics that are going to be used. Within the balanced scorecard, the metrics that's going to be used will be based on the quadrant that we are focusing on. The KPI for financials is going to be a target for revenue that's going to result from a savings in full-time employees. The saving in full-time employees is going to come from the improved efficiencies. So when these efficiencies are improved within these processes, that's going to result in a lesser need for full-time employees, so we won't have to hire as many people to accomplish these processes, so that is going to save the company money in revenue in full-time employees. The metric that is going to be used to determine the success of internal business processes will be the percentage of business processes that are documented. And so by Q1, we want 25% of the pilot team's documented to be the pilot team's processes to be documented. By Q2, we'd like 50% to be documented. Q3, 75%, and Q4, we'd like 100% of the processes documented. The learning and growth quadrant is of the balanced scorecard is going to be measured by the metric of percentage of processes that are improving based on the initiative of the efforts at inception. So the customer service quadrant, that's going to be measured by CSAT. And what CSAT is customer satisfaction. And this will be measured through administration of a survey. And a score will be placed to these surveys to administer that we are administering in order to measure success of customer satisfaction. So overall, this is a brief overview of our strategic goal and what we are asking. And from here, I'd like to ask for executive approval and sponsorship to move forward with this strategic goal. And if you have any questions, please bring them forward right now. And if you would like a more detailed explanation, as I said, I have the documents that can explain in further detail. Thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it.